Hi folks, I just want to make this video because I looked online for a video that specifically addresses the replacement not of the whole top but of those tensioner straps. So if you have an old top, this is a BMW M399, and I think that when the person who sold it to me 10 years ago, 12 years ago, had to replace the entire top because that window, as you see, it creases every once in a while when you open and close it, and with time it could crack, especially if it's not in the garage. So what I decided to do, well, so in any case, I think what happened, he took it to somebody who replaced the top, but they never really bothered to replace the tensioner straps. And just so you know, these here are called the tensioner straps. Now it turns out that you can buy these, and they're about $350, BMW original OEM, and I don't think they were replaced when the person put a new top on, because I know he did it for a pretty affordable price. So because of that, now I can't show you anymore because I halfway fixed this, but it used to, what happened when I used to open the top, this used to always be a little bit this way, and then that tonneau cover does not open comfortably because there's no clearance here, so it would actually hit this, and then I'd have to move this manually with my hand so this opens up freely. It was not a big deal, but then I got really annoyed when I started noticing that this one snaps right back down, creating a lot of noises and problems with potentially wrecking the device and even maybe the motors. But I wanted to try to replace the tensioner straps. Of course, the best way to do that, the professional way to do that, take the top off, which is this. You take the headliner off, which is that stuff. And as you can see, the headliner has never been replaced. This is all flaking out. This is probably the sound insulation, all completely flaking out. But in any case, and it created a lot of problems, all that debris. Be careful, because that gets stuck in your drain tubes here, and if it does that, you can get an entire wet underneath, which happened to me. So make sure you look out for these debris. Things really break down with time, as you can see right here. Okay, so but what I've realized is I just don't want to deal with taking the top off and the headliner off. That's a lot of work. So I really wanted to replace my hand with some straps that I bought from Joanne, actually. Oh, this is from Amazon, but anyway, you can buy this from anywhere. And notice that this has a pretty good tension, and it's elastic enough. And I figured, you know, how is it that the old one went bad, but this is not even the kind that is, this is more like your seat belt, so it doesn't have any tension in it. So how has that gone bad? And I found out that it turns out that you only need the tension on this part right here. Now I might need, so that part here, you see, this is no longer having the tension in it. But I think that material is more or less similar to the material that I'm about to put. So what I decided to do, and now this, I may need a light for this so you can see clearly what's going on here. So what I think, so what I decided to do, because this essentially is only on the part that connects the, so you could see that there are 3 rods here. So there's this bar here, there's another middle bar here, and then this bar, okay? And then of course there are the front bars. Sorry to not have this fully closed, but in any case, you could probably see the bars right there. Okay, so here's one bar right there. You see that where this thing is kind of broken? That's one of them. And I think that's the third one from the back. And then you get another one here. You see where, that's where this thing is attached. So this thing is attached, and you notice that that strap has a, again, I'm doing this alone, that has the part that's like the seat belt hard and the part that's like the tensioner. So that's the part that's done. So ideally, if I can just replace that by sewing a new piece here and a new piece up here, then I'm done, free to go. But what I realized when I tried to fix that, it actually improved things. But I realized that this one is still snapping back, and I found out that there's yet another tensioning strap here, and that's also, you see, that's also gone bad. So what I decided to do, rather than sewing this, you see, rather than sewing a new piece here and here, here's what I decided to do. Why don't I take this and wrap it around those two bars tightly, and then either sew it here like that, hugging those two, so I get double the elasticity that way. And of course, if you don't want to, you could do that in a number of ways. Of course, you could use these fancy clips. You can sew it to a ladder clip and eventually clip it on so it's easy to control it. Or you can just find the sweet spot, which is basically when this thing is completely right before your tonneau cover opens. This is as far back as it ought to be. So what you want your strap to be essentially tense. So you want it to be not tight, but you want it to be essentially just fully sealed. So you want to give it no tension. Basically, you want it no slack, but no tension, so that when the thing opens, then it puts the tension. All right. So what did I do? I decided to test that out first before I go sewing. Sewing takes a long time, obviously, especially when you can't see what you're doing. So here's, now look at this, look at that here. So what you can see is I wrapped this new elastic thing that I got for a few bucks, really. The whole thing was $10 anyway. So I wrapped this around here, and so now you may wonder, how do you get it on the other bar? So it turns out that this here, now I have a broken piece here, but it turns out that this thing, let me do this, actually can pull down. You see, so you can, in fact, pull this down. Now, for some reason, I wasn't able to do it on the other side, so what I did, I put two pieces and rolled the other one down. So this thing hugs that piece of plastic, which is falling apart on me, which attaches the headliner to the bar. It's for some reason pretty tight on the other side. What I decided to do, I put two of these straps, walked or slid the strap all the way down to the other side, and now I have two straps. So you could see now this one here. All right, so now look at the connection point. So how did I connect them? Well, I wanted to not sew it until I know it works. So what I decided to do, I stapled those two. So you can see the staples right there. So I stapled those two parts together, okay? And what I did on the other side is exactly the same thing to test if this fixes the problem. And it does. I wish I could have taken a video before. Again, here's the old the old strap and the tensioner over it, which is essentially gone. And right behind it, you could see, I don't know if you could see, oh, here, right behind it is my new stapled strap, which I slit from the other side, essentially walked it over. And that headliner is still attached. So because it, even though it hugs the pipe, there is enough leeway to allow you to put something as thin as that. And you can see the staples right there. These are the staples. Now, the staples are essentially my way of testing it, and then I'm going to sew it. All right. I think I'm going to show you how this thing opens right now. Let's do a test here. So, alright, so sorry about photography, but anyway. Alright, so this thing is gonna, right now, I'm gonna open it. You see, it's gonna open the tonneau cover without any issue, right? And then the thing comes down snapping. I don't like that. See, that's the snap that I'm talking about. Of course, this goes back all the way, no problem. That goes all the way back. And now let me show you how I can, because you can obviously close the whole thing with the key. So I'm going to show you what happens when I close the car with the key. That way you can see the photography a little better. So this one, it closes, right? And now here's the part that I'm happy about, is that when this comes up, the thing pulls it all the way back, so it gives clearance for this to come, but then this snaps. Not terribly, but it does, and I don't like that. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to replace the other tensioner cords, and they are here. You can see now this thing opening very well. No interruption. Okay, that's enough. So what I want to show you here is that these cords right here. All right, you see that? That's the other tensioner cord. So I just have to sew a new one, and this is actually easy to access. So I'm gonna replace that with probably a more heavy-duty tensioning cord. And that's it, folks. Once you do that, you will enjoy a very good working top. By the way, those debris, just be careful. They do not block that hole, okay? I've had that happen where debris from the top, when blocked that hole, make sure it's always clear. And that's actually why they have these little pins, if you will, that stick up to prevent anything from blocking that hole, because if it blocks, the rain gathers in your trunk and then it goes into the, and then underneath it damaged my fuse for the AC. It's a very expensive thing to have to worry about. Also lubricate these joints when you're at it, and of course the debris has been creating a lot of problems. So summary is, you don't need to replace the entire top if the window is not broken, but also you don't need to take off the entire thing just to replace these straps. If the straps are not broken, you just need the tension. You can replace the tensioner part of the straps. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I really wanted to do this because I couldn't find a quick and easy way, essentially $10 ways to replace the straps. Thank you. Bye. So, okay, folks, I just want to talk a little bit more about the that strap here. So that one is very easy to, that tensioner strap, very easy to remove. It turns out it's holding on to this bar, and you can see where it is. I mean, it's holding on to, let's see, right there, that one right here, okay? And you know, you could see where it is because it's right there, and it's not attached here other than just hugging it. So it's holding it like that, but it's pinned with this cord, okay, using a torque screw, which is, it turns out it's the size of T10. So this is the T10 that's attached right where I have that blue tape. There's the blue tape. And right where the blue tape, there is a hole, which I'm covering with the blue tape just so I remember where that thing goes. So that will go, so that's where this tensioner strap used to be. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove that. And now mine is actually a bit thicker. I could have bought the thinner one as well. I didn't know I was gonna need it. But you know what? I can always cut this down the center if I need to, although I feel like the more, the better the tension. Let's try it out. Okay. So as you can see, I threaded that strap, that new elastic strap, tension strap, around that bar where the old one used to be, and you know, worked it where it's supposed to be, behind these metal bars, and it comes out this end here, and I just made a hole in it with this so I can attach it right up here. Okay. And I think that would be the same on the other side. Not I think, I mean, I know that it would be the same on the other side, but then I think that would be. So I found that on the issue of this part, when it snaps back right down, so there are also these straps here, and they have this seatbelt material, which is strong and durable, and they have this stretchy elastic material, which, as you see, is already going out. So what I'm going to do, I have a choice. I either sew a new piece this big right here, when that's not too hard to get to. There's a little bit more far away part that I need to get to, or maybe sew a piece that runs along the entire strap, and this side, and then there's one on the other side as well. I'm gonna do that and then get back on the camera and then try it out, and that would be the last, I believe, short of these here. the last elastic straps that need to be replaced in order for you to have a top that works quite smoothly. All right. So on accessing these, this is easy to access clearly. You could stand and sew the elastic, the new elastic right here. But the other one is a little harder to reach. And so I found it was a lot easier to just open the car, push this front seat forward, and actually sit in it. And when you do that, when you sit in the car, you'll have, hopefully you're not too tall, but you'll have just enough clearance to access this right here. So there it is. And there it is. And you can sew the new part here and then run it all along here and back to this one right here. All right, let me put this here. Okay. And so yeah, there it is again. Here, okay. And then the same thing over here. You can be comfortable, sit there and sew this part here and run it along this side and then get up to here and sew the remaining part there. So you can easily sit on this chair, on the seat rather, and do this job. Okay. Okay, now let me show you how it looks like when I open the top. Let me take the car off. That's it, folks. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, now I'm done with the job. Moment of truth. Now I kind of cleaned up all that mess and detailed the car a little bit here. So I'm going to try to show you the top working after the tensioners have been sort of stitched up, replaced, not quite replaced, but stitched up. And let's close it with a key. And you can watch the all right, let's see here. And so it's pretty smooth, I would say, at least as good as it gets. It pulls back all the way and it doesn't really snap back very fast. It snaps, it's gentle, and obviously this finishes the job. All right.